Peyton as Michael Rossi. Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington. Barbara Parchins as Betty Anderson. Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington. Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington. James Douglas as Stephen Cord. Elizabeth Walker as Carolyn Russell. And also starring Barbara Rush as Marcia Russell.
Tonight, Stephen Cord carries information he has just received from a Boston clinic. He's determined to observe the impact of this information on Betty Harrington. He is convinced that her life will change in a sudden and destructive way, and thus affect the lives of all those close to her.
Go away.
Betty, I have to talk to you. It's very important.
Stephen, haven't you done enough already?
Martin Peyton is dead. True. He's really gone.
It just doesn't seem possible.
I had a call from Boston.
When?
A little while ago.
I just can't believe it.
Well, you will. It's all yours. All in your two little hands. The power and the glory and the money. Especially the money.
Oh, Stephen. This is hardly the time.
Rather wait till grandfather's will is probated? Well, it's just a formality. You passed the test. You're Mrs. Rodney Harrington. It's all yours.
You call him your grandfather. You could show a little respect for his memory.
Well, I'll leave that to you. You have much more reason to be grateful. Then I did get that big house, didn't I? I'm sorry.
You have a house.
Yeah, it's very cozy. But it's hardly an appropriate setting for the richest woman in town. Go after it. Build yourself a show place. High on a hill, higher than anybody else. I mean, that's what you've been after ever since you were old enough to wear lipstick, isn't it? You told yourself, someday, Peyton Place is going to look up to Betty Anderson. Everything you've done. Your marriage to Rod, then to me, our divorce, and then the convenient discovery that you were still in love with Rodney and wanted to remarry him. You never lost sight of your goal, did you, Betty?
You're as twisted as ever.
But clear-eyed, with all. I only ask, was it worth it? I'm just curious. Oh, your, coffee pot's boiling over. You didn't answer my question.
It doesn't deserve an answer.
Oh, sorry. Old domestic reflex left over from your second marriage.
Get this straight. I love Rod. I always have, and I always will.
I could not love thee so, dear. Loved I not Mr. Peyton's money more.
That money means only one thing to me. It'll buy my husband whatever he needs to make him well.
Didn't mean that when you married him. You couldn't foresee the accident. Only that a sick old man was dying was going to leave you his money. If you recouped the mistake you made by marrying the wrong grandson. Well, you hit the jackpot, Mrs. Rodney Harrington. You really hung in there.
Get out. Get out. I have taken enough from you. Now, I went to the hospital. Rod wouldn't even see me, whatever lies you told him about us.
They weren't lies.
Will you get out? What did Rod say to you when you told him about his grandfather's death?
I haven't told Rod.
Norman? You came here instead.
I thought you should be the first to know. Congratulations are always easier than condolences.
Miss Choate, pick up on line 22. Miss Choate, pick up on line 22. What is it? What's going on?
Have you called Rod?
Yeah, he knows we're coming.
What happened?
Well, let's all hear it at the same time, all right?
Well, the whole delegation.
What's up?
Ask Stephen.
It concerns all of us. I had a call from Boston. Grandfather Peyton died there late this afternoon.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess it had to happen, didn't it? You were the first to get the news.
Well, for obvious reasons, Betty's the principal beneficiary. According to the terms of Grandfather's famous last will.
We know, Stephen. It's a little early to start picking over the bones, isn't it?
Well, I know what to expect.
Yeah, you have the joy of delivering us the good tidings.
What joy? The joy of being reminded how much the old man detested me. That I was not only denied and disinherited, but deprived of my wife.
What are you trying to say, Stephen? Is this an announcement that you plan to take it all back?
We already discussed that.
Will the two of you stop this, please?
Betty's right. I don't know what this is all about, but here we are quarreling, and your grandfather just died.
Oh, I think you would have gotten a big kick out of it. Good old family argument.
He was a human being, Stephen. No matter what you thought about him, he's dead now.
Somebody has to take care of the arrangements.
Oh, I'll take care of everything. I meant to say that before.
I'm sure Mr. Peyton would have wanted Rod to.
Well, possibly, but Rod's hardly in a position.
These things can be handled by telephone, Stephen.
Not very practically.
Wait a minute. If you want the job, you've got it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, Rod?
Well, then I'll take care of everything. Good night.
Maybe I should have kept my big mouth shut. I mean, now that you're sort of head of the family.
Oh, that's okay.
We better go.
All right.
Why didn't you go, too? You don't want to miss your ride.
Rod, I didn't come with Stephen. I came in our own car. Rod, what is happening? No, why do you say these things?
Oh, what do you mean? I just assumed that you had ridden over here with Stephen. He was at the house.
You know what you were thinking, and so do I. Last night you wouldn't even see me. You had a nurse's aide tell me you were tired.
I was.
This morning.
Betty, you're going to have to stop reading things into everything I say and do.
When it took your grandfather's death to get me into this room to see you. I mean, even then I was afraid to call you. I had to ask Norman to do it for me.
Oh, you're just being silly.
If I had called, would you have answered? Rod, we cannot allow Stephen to drive us apart. Now, I don't know what he said to you yesterday, but I saw what he was doing tonight. Poisoning you against me with his words about your grandfather's will.
Stephen said only one thing. That you were the principal beneficiary of the will. Now, that happens to be true. Besides, that will doesn't mean anything to us anyway.
Do you really mean that?
It's nothing new. Grandfather was a dying man when we got married. You had to feel that money was practically yours.
No, not mine, ours.
He used to wave it under your chin 100 times a day, even while you were still married to Stephen.
You don't really believe that.
I wish I didn't.
But you do.
I do.
Too much. Just too much.
Yeah. Oh, dinosaur, that's me, I know. Just can't figure you, Lou. I mean, what do you think? You think I'd come to New York and lean on you a little or something?
I don't know, Pop. Just don't know. Just a tough thing to say, that's all. I knew you had to pull strings to get me to audit those classes. I couldn't just call you up and say, hey, Dad, guess what? I'm auditing nothing.
Lou, you and me, two of us, Oh, I'm not trying to say you're my favorite or anything like that. You know better. I love you both. You know that. that you were the baby and... Oh, yeah, I know. You don't like that either. The youngest. Always such a little scrapper. You never quit. We slapped each other around a little bit, but always leveled with each other.
Pop, I just didn't know what you would do. You know, you must be standing wrong.
Don't stand wrong, just stand a lot. Making a big mistake, you know that, don't you? Medicine is where you belong.
Hey, I'm not dumping medicine. Now, where in the world did you get an idea like that? I'm not dumping medicine.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
Hi, Dr. Ross.
Oh, hello, Norman. Well, I just thought I'd come by and offer you my condolences.
Thank you.
This is the first time I've seen you shop.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Our grandfather was our backer.
Oh, he lent you the money?
Nope, he gave it to me.
Well, I suppose that shows how much he believed in you and in your abilities.
Yeah, I guess he thought I was worth something. Even though he was loaded, he never threw his money away.
No, he didn't. Look, I wanted to talk to you about Rod, too. You know how much trouble we've had trying to get him to continuous therapy.
Yeah, I know.
Well, now that we've managed to get him to go back in, it's going to take a great effort on our part to keep him there. I'm just afraid that getting his inheritance is going to make him cynical and uncooperative again.
Yeah, I'm just hearing going on about being the richest cripple in the world. Maybe he'll buy himself a solid gold wheelchair.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Well, I just thought I ought to warn you so that we could maybe defeat these ideas before they crop up.
Well, the first wisecrack he makes about the money, I'll zap him once.
Good. Well, maybe next time I come back, you can sell me one of those machines.
What do you see, Dr. Rossi? Oh, some of the guys from the Tory. They're pretty wild, aren't they? Except for Jeff there, their leader. He doesn't need long hair or beard.